Alright, let's keep chugging along, but I did want to say that if you're the type of person who believes there is a case for Jesus, like as if it's actually true, then I would recommend doing what I'm doing, read some atheist propaganda and break it down so that those of us who are going to hell might have a chance to watch your videos and learn from our mistakes and come around to the right side. Or maybe you'll realize, who knows what you'll realize, but you gotta try. So anyways, going on, the death of the Messiah. Anyone familiar with the four Gospels will recall that on several occasions, Jesus speaks about eventually being handed over to the authorities and put to death. Again, we don't know what Jesus said by the guy's own words. What sometimes goes unnoticed is that when Jesus predicts that he will suffer and die, he repeatedly refers to himself as the Son of Man. Okay, again, nobody's debating that these books were written before Jesus died. Everyone, even the hard Christians, are saying they were written after Jesus died. So it's not that hard to add in a prophecy of something that already happened and act like the guy knew it was going to happen, because it would detract, from the claim if he was surprised by his own execution. Like, how could God not see this coming? So you have to build in this claim of that he knew it was coming and did it anyways. Otherwise, there's nothing special, and I don't think there's anything special anyways. But yeah. For example, according to the Gospel of Mark, after Peter confesses Jesus to be the Messiah, this is what happens. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. And he said this plainly. We'll get to the question of the resurrection in a later chapter. For now, I simply want to emphasize that when Jesus speaks about his own future suffering and death, again, we don't know what Jesus said, and by the time this was written, he had already suffered and died, so it's not that hard to add it in. He alludes once again to the book of Daniel. It is as the Messianic Son of Man spoke of by Daniel that he must suffer and die. In fact, the word must here indicates that Jesus is referring to the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. If Jesus is referring to a specific prophecy, then an important question arises. Where does he get the idea that the Messianic Son of Man must suffer and die? What passage in the Bible is he talking about? If you go back to the Old Testament, you will discover that there is no explicit prophecy of the death of the Son of Man anywhere to be found. The book of Isaiah contains prophecies of the death of the suffering servant, but that figure is never explicitly identified as the Son of Man. Oh my God, we're nitpicking over stupid little phrases that have been translated 5 times. Servant of what? Suffering servant, Son of Man? Who gives a shit? Why then does Jesus seem to think that the Bible foretells the suffering and death of the Son of Man? Why do you think that Jesus seems to think that the Bible, which wasn't even put together at the time, so there was no Bible, foretells the suffering of anything? And why do you think the word Son of Man means anything? It's just a phrase. Once again, the answer lies in the book of Daniel. Although the Son of Man in Daniel 7 is not described as being put to death, the future Messiah in Daniel 9 is described as being put to death. Oh my God, it contradicts itself. Who would have thought? In fact, this is the only explicit prophecy of the death of the Messiah, Hebrew Mashiach, in the Old Testament. Although the passage is somewhat obscure, it is worth reading carefully. The angel Gabriel said to Daniel, 70 weeks of years, or 490 years. That doesn't make any sense because a year's 52, so I'm reading that as 1.5, but whatever. Are decreed concerning your people and your holy city, to finish the transgression, to put an end to sin, and to atone for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal both vision and prophet, and to anoint a most holy one. Know therefore and understand, from the going forth of the word to restore and build Jerusalem to the coming of the Messiah, a prince, there shall be 7 weeks. Then for 62 weeks it shall be built again with squares and a moat. but in a troubled time. And after the 62 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off and shall have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Its end shall come with a flood, and to the end there shall be war. Desolations are decreed, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week, and for half of the week he shall cause sacrifice and offering to cease. And upon the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. Daniel 9:24-27. That shit doesn't mean anything.